Welcome one and all to Scotch and Smoke Rings, episode 520. I am your friendly neighborhood Oxhorn, here as always with suspenders set to maximum stun. 100 episodes ago, the chat got really excited for some reason. I don't know why. I remember it oddly enough. For some reason, 100 episodes exactly, the chat was really just high, for lack of a better word, on laughter. But this episode won't be anything like that. This is episode 520. We're all just having a great day. We streamed Wolfenstein, the Wolfenstein Youngblood earlier today. So they released Wolfenstein Youngblood this morning at 10 o'clock in the morning a.m. Pacific time, around 1 o'clock Eastern. And I did a live stream, 4 hours of that, and then I got to work on my Broken Steel video, and now I'm doing this. So I've had a very full day. Not to mention the fact that we had a generator installed today. No more power outages in the Oxhorn household. Trying to reduce as much downtime as humanly possible. So, yeah, I've been hard at work, and I'm really looking forward to enjoying a cigar, drinking a little bit of scotch. Speaking of which, I have a bottle somewhere. I forgot. There it is. Okay. So you'll notice things look a little different here. I hope you can hear my music. Hold on. Yeah, you can hear my music. Anyway, you'll notice things are a little bit different. My camera is there. It was there. My camera was there, and so I had to be over here, which is why I keep going over there, because there are things on that computer that I forget that I'm trying to move over here. But now I'm over here, so that when I am playing a game, you can actually see the front of my face, instead of just this side. And I know that this side is amazing. I'm always getting compliments on this side. People will stop me in the street and say, Oxhorn, that left side of your face, that's the best side. Which, of course, is why I did the whole profile thing to begin with. I wanted to give you my best side. But now I decided it was time for the whole Oxhorn. One side just wasn't enough. You needed the whole Oxhorn. So here I am, all of me. Okay, I'll stop. New member, welcome Flavio Yamada. Good to have you on the program. Hey, it says Pikachu Ethan. Also, great to have you on the program. Thank you very much for the super chat. We got all the regulars in the chat today. Good to see you, Potato Chip and Laura Elstad. Brian Sanchez, I'm so glad you're here. Thank you, thank you. And thanks to all of the mods who were helping out earlier in the broadcast, or earlier today when I was doing Wolfenstein the Youngblood. You made the live stream so much more enjoyable for everybody. Angel Jaramillo says, first donation of the day. Well, I'm so glad that it's me, being the beneficiary of your first donation of the day. Don Coington and Zartu, everybody's here. All right. Time to let something on fire and drink something. Here we go. All right, where's that? Oh, no. Got a dirty glass. Hold on. You know, the dishwasher doesn't quite get it all off. And so then the heat cycle burns it in. You got to bake it off. That's when you take a screwdriver out and just chip away. Chip away. There we go. So today we're drinking some 10-year-old Glencullen. Oh, hold on. This is the $1 million sound. This, I know, is why you all tune in. Here we go. It was a little lackluster, actually. So even though I really enjoyed playing Wolfenstein the Youngblood, or Wolfenstein Youngblood earlier today, we will continue with Bioshock. No need to mess up our regular schedule for now. I figure what we'll do is we'll make a point to switch to Wolfenstein Youngblood whenever one ends. And I think it's going to be Dishonored 2. I think I'm further along on the Dishonored 2 storyline than I am in Bioshock 2. and The Sinking City. So we'll just play the games we have been playing. Then when I finish one, we'll switch over to Wolfenstein the Youngblood. Youngblood. I keep saying the Youngblood because of the old blood, but it's Youngblood. Insta-War with a tip. Thank you very much, Insta-War. Matt Streams says, howdy Ox, how are ya? And are you going to live stream the Fallout 76 panel on Saturday? I enjoy the streams and videos. Keep up the good work. Thank you. I'm doing very well, keeping myself busy. I don't at the moment plan to live stream the Fallout 76 panel on Saturday, mainly because I have a lot to do on Saturday. I'm very, very busy in terms of, all sorts of stuff. Just things going on at the house, and I have to work on a lore video for Sunday's lore video. So I'm probably not going to have time to re-stream the Fallout 76 panel on Saturday. Angel Jaramillo says, going camping tomorrow and have a new lava lamp. He is excited about life, going camping, and he's got a new lava lamp. Both wonderful things. Thank you for coming onto the program and sharing. Time Ranger says, Ox, I was just watching your Fallout series again. Well, thank you very much. I mean, I'm not done. I've still got a lot of Fallout content to do, particularly when it comes to Fallout 76. But yeah, I've done a lot, and I'm glad that you've been enjoying what I have out there so far. Dalton Williams says, have my best friend visiting from Colorado. Will you shout out to Preston, please? He's a Marine Corps vet. Thank you, Preston. Well, thank you very much, Preston. And you have a popular name. People in the broadcast today will recognize the name Preston, as I'm sure your friend Dalton will let you know, if you're not familiar already with the events of Fallout 4. But thank you for your service, Preston, and it's good to have you on the program. Zartu says, I am enjoying The Sinking City. I also am enjoying The Sinking City. It has a unique feel to it that I really like. All right. Where's my lighter? There it is. All of me. I've gone and got that song stuck in my head now. White and Badu says, hey, Oxhorn, are you going to do a full story of Fallout 4? That is the plan. I have a lot on my plate right now. I want to start the full story of Fallout 76. I've got a few other side stories in Fallout 76 that I want to tackle, not to mention Far Harbor, which I haven't done yet. But yeah, I do want to do that eventually. Pork Chop Porkerson says, it Ox Daddy. Thank you, Pork Chop. That's me. That's me. I'm Ox Daddy. Okay. Mythic with the tip says, hey Oxhorn, long time no see. Been a few weeks since starting my new job, however. I called out tomorrow because I got a bit of a fever. But at least I get to tough it out and watch Scotch and Smoke Rings live once again. Cheers. Well, cheers, Mythic. Sorry to hear that you got a bit of a fever. But I'm glad you're spending some time here and that you get a little bit of a rest. Liquids and rest will do you wonders. Rob says, I watched the video on the Great Game and was wondering if you think that Deacon from Fallout 4 could be part of the Great Game if he truly is Johnny D. Yeah, I mean, Johnny, it would be I would be surprised if Deacon was not Johnny D. He is the longest serving member of the Railroad, or one of them. He jokingly said he founded the Railroad, and then he says that he's lying. But then when we dig into the files, Johnny D disappears at the exact same time that Deacon appears, right? One log entry, Johnny D is there. He's never mentioned again, and suddenly Deacon is there. And it just so happens that event happens when anyone who would have recognized Johnny D is gone from the Railroad, right? So Desdemona, everybody else, they join the railroad, they get promoted or whatever. All the old people die, and suddenly Deacon's there, and he changes his name. The only record of Johnny D is in the archives of the railroad. So it could be that he is Johnny D. Now, as for being part of the great game, I mean, interesting, but he would have to be an immortal. Now, I speculated in my video on Deacon that it's possible he could be a ghoul. I think really only being a ghoul would he be able to say things like, I miss the vault. What did he say? He says that he will say, I miss things before the war, right? As if he had seen them, as if he had been there. And then, of course, he joked that one time saying that he spent some time as a ghoul. Which makes you wonder, did he spend some time disguised as a ghoul? Or is he a ghoul? If he could disguise himself so convincingly to be a ghoul, how can we say that he's not disguising himself as a human? So if he were a ghoul, he could be part of the great game that's been going on for 200 years. But he also appears to be really passionate about the railroad cause. And that doesn't really go within the entire idea of the great game. The idea behind the great game is that you're a pre-war millionaire/billionaire. You've got a lot of money and power. And winning the game after the apocalypse is simply accumulating more money and power and destroying any of your competitors. And he's not doing any of that, right? He's not a rich guy. He's not a powerful guy. He slinks around in the shadows and doesn't want to be noticed. That's not something somebody who's playing the great game would do. We learned about the great game, by the way, in the Point Lookout DLC. It's towards the end of the DLC. Just watch my series on Point Lookout if you don't know anything about the great game. It is canonical, part of Fallout lore, and it's interesting. I want to know more. We didn't learn much more about it after the Point Lookout DLC, too. But I mean, there are other people who could be playing, like the Cabot family, for example. Anyway, Angel Jaramillo says, after Bioshock 2 is over, what will you play? Well, I mean, if I'm not playing Wolfenstein Youngblood already, probably Bioshock Infinite. We'll probably move on to the next Bioshock games, finish the entire series. That's what we've been doing here, finishing entire series. Then I do want to do Far Cry, the Far Cry series, probably starting with Far Cry 5. And then, I don't know, I mean, there are a lot of other wonderful things we could do. Taz says, Oxhorn, I didn't get to see the entire stream earlier yet, but what I saw, it looked good. And by the way, I was born in Mesquite, Texas, in April of '79. Hey, well, then I bet when you saw that in the live stream, it caused you to raise an eyebrow. Yeah, no, it's pretty good. I mean, it's a Wolfenstein game. It's fun, and I really enjoy the Wolfenstein games. I think my favorite part of the Wolfenstein games, apart from the gunplay, and the gunplay is a lot of fun, playing with all the different guns available is a blast. But what I like most about it is the very different way they approach an alternative timeline. So we, Fallout fans, get to enjoy the alternative timeline within the Fallout universe, where it's still part of our world, but there was a moment where their timeline split off, or perhaps a series of moments that caused their timeline to split off to be something completely different, which is why their culture 200 years, or 70 some odd, no, more like 100 years after like 125 years after the 50s, still has many indicators of the 1950s. But the cool thing about the Wolfenstein franchise is they also live in an alternate timeline where the Nazis won World War II. And seeing all of the different things that change after that is fascinating, like them being on the moon and going to Venus and taking over America. It's really interesting just digging through all of that pre-war, or I keep on saying pre-war lore, but digging through all of that lore. It's really post-war lore in the Wolfenstein universe. And it's got a very different feel. The past couple of games they had a real diesel punk kind of feel. This one is different. I mean, it's 1980s, right? So it's got a kind of almost a cyberpunk kind of feel to it. Error 404 says Error 404 gamer not found says, hi Oxhorn, you're awesome. Keep it up, brother. Thank you, Error 404. You're awesome. Glad you're here. What's the weather like there, says Josh Bunton. The weather's all right. It's a bit hot. We don't get a lot of lizards, but I saw 2 lizards today just trying to sneak into my garage to hide out from the heat. It's just weird in Seattle. So it's a little hot. Pico Suave with a tip. Thank you very much, Pico Suave. Bam Adam says, hey Oxhorn, love the videos, particularly Fallout 4. I was wondering where you got your Fallout 4 merch, like your helmets and stuff. Well, some of it is Bethesda merch, like the T-51B helmet is Bethesda merch, but most of it is fan-made. All of those helmets up there are fan-made except for the T-51. Most of the other props are fan-made, but every now and then I'll find a prop that is genuine because it served as an inspiration for what we find in the Fallout universe. Case in point, right? This is a real toy. And this one was made in Japan, this one was made in Korea. And yeah, so if you can imagine it, somebody sat down 50 years ago and designed this and thought, this is going to please children. This is going to make them so happy. And other people agreed. So many people agreed that they mass-produced it. Which is why 50 some odd years later, I was able to find one on eBay for $30. My kids are terrified of this. I mean, look. It's just the most terrifying. Look at these legs. Like little skeleton legs. Oh, I had to get it. It's gonna sit in a proud spot on my shelf. But yeah, every now and then we find something that Bethesda, they just took a note right out of reality and they just put it in the Fallout universe like that, for example. Which is great. And welcome new member, Mastering the Blaze, Vincent Malia with a tip. Thank you very much, Vincent. Angel Jaramillo says you should play The Walking Dead. I might someday. I'll consider it. I aim to game with the tip. Thank you very, very much. I aim to game. Shotgun Bob says, wouldn't it be badass if you lived when the Spartans existed? I'd be the best Spartan in the whips. Like the real Spartans? I mean, they kind of enslaved the Helots. Or the Helots? I mean, they weren't really cool. They had some messed up stuff. You should start with Far Cry 3, says Pikachu Ethan. Really? All right, I'll have to take a look at it. Crimson Angel Wings says, if you're looking for good horror games to play, you should try Until Dawn. It uses the butterfly effect, so your choices have actual consequences. Note to self, Until Dawn. One of these days, I would like to bring back Oxhorn After Dark and do some really, horror games. Honestly, I have a hard time finding horror games that I can tolerate. And it's not just like the horror aspect of it. I like psychological thrillers and horror and jump scares and all of that. But the plots are just... It's hard to find a horror game that has a decent plot. I think I complained about The Evil Within the other day. I couldn't get through it. I'm sorry. I just couldn't. Canuck says, kill it! Kill it with fire! Weirdbeard says, that's still your creepiest purchase, Ox. It needs to die. Oh my god, stop, says Don Coynton. I hate those clapping monkeys in the game, says Charles Borden. Don Coynton says it needs to die. I know. Kill it now with a bomb, says Silverboy on Steam. Kill the monkey, Ox, says Lord Runolf Ulfson. Kill it before it's too late. It belongs in an apocalypse as atomic name. Or atomic legends. I don't know. It's got some charm to it. Right? I mean, he's happy. You know, we don't know why he's happy. But the fact that something in this universe is bringing him joy, maybe something as simple as the sound that comes from slapping cymbals together, makes you think that, hey, maybe the world's not so bad a place after all. All right, we'll just put that down for now and drown our sorrows in scotch. Cheers. PC Smoker says Scotch and Smoke Rings will be 10 years old next week. Is it next week? I thought I started in June. I thought I started in June of 2009, so that would be... I think it's... Did I already pass my 10-year anniversary? I don't know. I mean, the numbers don't always add up. But, yeah, I mean, 10 years of this program. Can you believe it? A decade of my life on the internet for all to see. Ash Malachi says, Oxhorn, I recently sold my vacuum because all it was doing was collecting dust. Thank you, Ash Malachi. So glad you're here. Don't bring it back, they all say. He's staring into my soul, says Cool and Wart. Put him away. Mythic with the tip says, I think I mentioned it some time ago, but Soma is a horror game with a fantastic plot. I don't enjoy the genre whatsoever, but the story kept me coming back. Awesome. Soma. You did mention that. I remember taking a note at the time. I'm going to take another note. Soma. Oh. Okay, so I'm going to have to clarify Soma game, because if you just type Soma into Google, you get a women's lingerie shop. Soma, Frictional Games, December 2017, survival horror. Oh, it looks interesting. I wish I had time to play games like these. It would be really hard to publish lore videos about games like these on YouTube because, you know, monetization and all of that. You would really like We Happy Few, says I broke my hip. Yeah, you're right. I remember seeing the trailer for We Happy Few years ago, and I wanted to play it, but I remember reading reviews and learning that it wasn't done. It was just like half done. That the game just had one weird gimmick and that it was interesting, but really short. Now, I've also heard that it's improved significantly since then, so maybe it's worth revisiting. Maybe it's worth revisiting. This guy says, after you're done with Bioshock Infinite, you should play State of Decay. State of Decay. All right. Adding that to list of games to check out after the broadcast. Dustin Malakanich says, love your vids. Thoughts on a pre-war DLC of some sort down the road? Pre-war drama in person? Maybe who actually dropped the bombs? Keep it up, Ox. Yeah, I mean, I would love some sort of pre-war drama in an upcoming game or a DLC for Fallout 76. But that is something they will never answer. We will never learn who dropped the bombs. That's the big secret that they will never reveal. Now, there was a Fallout movie in the works years ago before Interplay sold the rights, and the script for that movie was leaked, and it was awful. It was an awful script. I'm so glad it never got made. It was just garbage. But in the script, we learned that it was Vault-Tec who really dropped the bombs, which makes you wonder, did they just come up with that for the movie and then they scrapped it? Or was that always in the back of their heads when they were making the first two games? So could that be who launched the bombs? But I have a lot of problems with Vault-Tec having been the ones to have launched the bombs. Namely, they're not here anymore, right? The Enclave is still here. Well, the pre-war government is still here in the form of the Enclave. The pre-war military is still here in the form of the Brotherhood of Steel. If Vault-Tec launched the bombs, The Zetans are still here, right? If, like, all of the candidates for who could have launched the bombs are still here, except for the most likely candidate, which is Vault-Tec. So they would have destroyed themselves by launching the bombs. Doesn't seem like a smart thing for them to do. Also, I know they wanted to run their experiments. I think I talked about this in my video on who dropped the bombs. But if the entire world is dead, what's the point of running your experiments? Because there's no one to review your research. You can't make money off of this new product that you've gleaned, right? So let's say you're Vault-Tec and you come up with an experiment where you can put a bunch of vault dwellers in a room and put them on exercise equipment, and you can maximize their efficiency by giving them certain drugs, and they generate power that somehow is better than a fusion reactor. Okay. What do you do with that if the entire world is gone? Okay, you've discovered that these people can somehow make energy more efficient than a nuclear reactor, which itself is a ridiculous premise, but whatever. We'll put that aside for now. Say you finally discover that. What do you do about that? The world's gone. You can't do anything about that. Might be interesting to know. Okay, cool. Well, we'll put that in the logbook and remember it someday, you know. When society rebuilds itself, there's really no motive for Vault-Tec to destroy the world. They make profit on fear. That was their entire thing. They must have thought that an apocalypse would have happened. Otherwise, they wouldn't have put all of these elaborate experiments into production. But they also were a company who was making a profit on fear. They were going door to door trying to sell vault spaces to people just so that they could make the most money they could. And if all those people are dead, if there's no one left to buy their vault spaces, they can't make more vaults. They can't run more experiments. They stop making money. It doesn't make sense for them to drop the bombs. So, I mean, we don't really know. And I'm part of me is terrified of Bethesda ever telling us, because I think we'd ultimately be disappointed. I don't think Bethesda ever will tell us who really did drop the bombs. Travis says, hey, Oxhorn, wife and I are back from honeymoon, and I wanted you to know that we both listened to your stream while sharing some of her favorite vodka. Well, I'm flattered and humbled. Thank you for letting me know. I'm glad that I was able to accompany you in some small way on your honeymoon, and I hope you enjoyed the vodka. Fond memories, fond memories. The Dark Seraph says you might look into large orb or cube ice molds for your drink. It melts slower and keeps your drink colder longer. Interesting. I didn't know that orb ice cubes melt slower. Cool. Well, that might be an interesting addition to the show. Charles Borden says maybe Vault-Tec did go to the stars as shown in Nuka World and were remote monitoring in space. Maybe, and maybe they're still there in some way. But that was just, okay. So the entire thing was modeled off of, you remember Epcot Center in Disney World where you could go and visit the town of tomorrow? It was a very Atom Punk sort of town. Googie, that's what you could say. It was like real Googie architecture. I mean, none of that came true, right? The town of the future was envisioned as being what the future would really like back when it was made. And now it's so not what the future ended up being that it itself is a tourist attraction just to sit there and go, oh, people really used to think this. That's kind of like what the Vault-Tec Among the Stars was all about. They were envisioning what it would be like to have a vault on a moon. I don't believe they ever did visit another planet and create a vault. Could be wrong. I mean, the Zetans are canonical in this universe, so Vault-Tec, I suppose, could have done anything. Jason says, hey, Oxhorn, love ya. Please consider a PS4, not because of platform, but because of games. You can still use mouse and keyboard with adapter like ZIM4 and HDMI to computer. Hugely popular Oxhorn-friendly games to play like Red Dead Redemption 2. Yep, I have heard that. That is a title that I would love to play, but I don't know. I mean, I like playing on a PC. That's where I'm comfortable. Daniel says, Oxy should play Days Gone. Has scary aspects and a great story. I recently have beat it and think you would love it. Days Gone. We'll take a note. Survival game. Open world survival game. Survival horror game. Interesting. Welcome, new member, Gabe Dovahkiin. Good to have you on the program. Thank you very much, Roland Palacios, for the tip. Jessica Sharp says, although Jangles looks like the clapping monkey, I'm so glad Jangles doesn't clap. He's creepy enough without that. Also, it's my cat Wraith's 2nd birthday. Happy birthday to Jessica's cat Wraith. I think I have my Jangles somewhere. There he is. He does look a lot like the clapping monkey. They might even be brothers. Put him over here. Oh, that's not nice. Bad monkey. Sorry, Jangles. No, they do actually resemble each other. The frown is a little different. Don Coington says no. Ox, what are you drinking tonight? Tonight I'm drinking Scotch. I poured it out and then put the bottle somewhere. What is it, Glenlivet? Glenmorangie? Oh. Glencullen. 10 years Glencullen. Weird Sam says, hi, I currently bought your Good Boy hoodie and I just want to say that I love it. Well, thank you very much, Weird Sam. I'm glad you love it. By the way, new shirt coming out soon. I've been working with my artist for well over a month. I sent him this design a long time ago. It's been close to almost 2 months now, I think. And he has spent a considerable amount of time on it because it was an ambitious design. But it's almost done. I should be able to talk to you about it over the weekend. It's really exciting. It's going to come on every single thing, every shirt type, every shirt size, all sorts of products. I think you're going to like it, especially if you're a Fallout 3 fan. So stay tuned for that. Roland says, hey, do you have any good vodka stories? I have one, and I have already said it on this program. I'm not going to say it again. I've already, it's like the same story. I can't say it every single time somebody asks me about vodka. Charles says, Ox, what did you throw? Jangles in the dryer on high heat? Yeah, he is a little smaller than the in-game model. I complained about that when I revealed him on the program a few months ago. I mean, he's great. He's really well made. Like, the quality of the model is well done. This is an official Bethesda prop, and I love it. But it's way smaller than it should be. Like the Jangles in the game, it's a tall toy. Charles Sierra says, do you work with one artist for your designs or multiple? I worked with multiple artists for quite some time. But it's the quality is always hit and miss with artists. And I found one whose work is consistently good. Everything he does is good. And so now I'm picky. I only want to work with him. So I'm happy to wait months even and just not release new designs unless he can do it for me because he does such a great job. So that's what I'm doing now. I released my perfectly preserved pie design a month or so ago. It's been a while, and the new design's coming out. It's going to be out soon, but I wanted to wait for him to work on it with me. Rachel says, Ox, in 76, my camp is right next to the sunken church you talk about in your Wendigo video. Every night there is a Wendigo that sits in a tree and just watches me. I'll tweet you a photo and location. Please do. That's cool. I love to hear that. Do send me a picture of that. Speaking of which, the first time I went to Haven Church, which is close to the sunken church, I didn't hear any music, but the second time I went to the Haven Church, it was late at night, and maybe that's why, but I heard organ music. And I didn't hallucinate. I did it a couple of times. It only happened at night. But if you go to the mire in the middle of the night and you happen to find Haven Church, as you approach, you will hear organ music. I don't know why. There's not even any lore there to explain why, which is frustrating. Walker Smith says, hey Ox, would you ever get a tattoo? Probably not. Not from me. I don't know if it's my style. The Dark Sheriff says, the new Tomb Raider games are really good, in particular the 2013 reboot of Rise of the Tomb Raider. I don't know. Again, a game that I really don't know if it's my style. Maybe it's because I'm imagining Tomb Raider as it was in the 90s and early thousands when it first came out. And I remember those PlayStation games. And I even at the time, I was like... But, maybe they've changed. Maybe they're worth revisiting. Okay, I'm talking so much. My cigar is still like the end hasn't even fallen off yet. CSM Hibjdog says, maybe Vault-Tec did it to get the strongest humans prepared for space travel. They would be able to function in space with elevated levels of radiation. Well, if that's the case, then why did they kill all of their Vault dwellers? Like, if they were really trying to weed out the weak and make more people ready for space travel, there were so many experiments that just killed everyone. Like the Vault 51 experiment, which is just everyone dies, right? Or the Vault 11 experiment where everyone dies. I don't know. Maybe. Samuel says, will you do any more videos on Tactics or Brotherhood of Steel? I know Brotherhood of Steel is bad and non-canon, but still I'd like to see them. I might. The thing is, even though I really enjoy doing the classic Fallout games, they're not nearly as popular as the Bethesda Fallouts. Just in terms of sheer view count, they're just not. Even my original Fallout series, like I covered every square inch of lore in the original Fallout, and it's the format of the game that kind of just turns people off. The way it looks and few voiced NPCs that just... There are so many people who are used to the Fallout franchise because of Bethesda, and they haven't played the original games, and those type of games are alien and foreign to them. And I think is why my original Fallout and Fallout 2 content, they still do well enough to continue to pursue, but not nearly as well as Fallout 3, Fallout New Vegas, and Fallout 4. That said, yeah, I still do want to do Tactics. Maybe Brotherhood of Steel. I mean, it's such a bad game that I don't know, but maybe Brotherhood of Steel, and it's not even canonical. But I definitely want to do Tactics. So, just given time. Broken Tor says, Bethesda should do a remake of Fallout 1 and Fallout 2, in my opinion. I don't think they could get away with it. I don't think you could make a game like Fallout 2 today. I mean, you've been watching my Fallout 2 series, right? You couldn't get away with making a game like that today. New Reno would not have passed QA in today's modern gaming world. It just wouldn't. That wouldn't have been made. So, I mean, I hate to say it, but Fallout 2, it's a gem. It's a unique little gem. It was created in a finite point in time, and a game like that just won't be created ever again. For better or worse, but probably for worse. The Dark Seraph says, what do you think of the dog meat as a synth theory? I think that these situations are best explained with the simplest explanation. And the simplest explanation is that there have been many dogs throughout North America since the bombs dropped named dog meat. And they don't necessarily need to have been the same ones. The dog meat that the Vault Dweller meets is not the same dog meat that meets the Lone Wanderer, is not the same dog meat that meets the Sole Survivor, right? That's probably a different dog. Especially in Fallout 3 when dog meat can die. And you can get dog meat puppies, which are all named dog meat. So, I'm pretty sure it's not the same dog. And if it's not the same dog, then there's no need for him to be a synth. Ethan says, I can't wait for you to get to Infinite. It's significantly different from the first two Bioshock games. Is it really? Because I haven't played Infinite at all. I haven't looked it up. I haven't seen any videos. I have no idea what to expect with Infinite. Is it really that much different? Interesting. Well, I'm looking forward to learning more about it. Samuel Freeman says, thank you for the DLC videos. I just finished the Point Lookout series. Sorry, I was a little late. And I can say that the Antique Land video was fantastic. Thank you. I really enjoyed the Point Lookout DLC. And I loved all the literary references that they put into that game. That DLC, they did a really good job. I mean, there were parts of Point Lookout that were not very memorable. Even the primary story to the Point Lookout DLC is not that memorable. It was a little cliche. But the locations in Point Lookout and the side stories and the side quests were very memorable and really interesting. Line Cliche says, I avoided watching Fallout 2 lore because I wanted to play it, no spoil. But at this rate, I may as well. Well, that's completely up to you. In terms of getting it to work, I did not have, okay, so I had problems. It's weird. I didn't have any problems getting Fallout 1 to work on any computer. For some reason, I couldn't get Fallout 2 to work on Steam when I bought it. All I had to do was buy it on GOG, and it worked. I don't know why. Out of the box. Didn't have to do anything. Just installed it on bought it on GOG, installed it, and it worked out of the box. So, I'm sure there are on Windows 10. So I'm sure there are ways, there are plenty of ways to go and play the game. It may be one of those things where you don't really want to have to learn the mechanics because it's a bit of a dated game, which is understandable, in which case you've got my series, and I'm whipping my way through it. Justin Lacona says, Vault-Tec did the experiments as a way to limit who they want to control the new world. The deaths could then be written off as casualties of war, making Vault-Tec look like heroes. To whom? That's what we keep coming back to. Deaths written off as casualties? Who are they writing them off to? Who would think of them as heroes? There's no one left. It's the apocalypse, right? It's not like they just committed an... Okay, so let's presume they dropped the bombs. It's not like they just committed an atrocity or they did a war crime, right? Because sure, someone might want to do an atrocity or a war crime if there was enough of a benefit. But we're talking about destroying the known world. Right? Europe was already gone. They had dissolved into city-states over fossil fuels, warring city-states over fossil fuels already. All that was left was America and Canada and China. That was all that was left, right? How are you going to make a profit? How are you going to look like heroes? How are you going to embody the research you're conducting if you kill everyone? There's no motive for Vault-Tec to drop the bombs. There's none. Like, sure, maybe they would be left, but they're not like the Enclave. The Enclave has this quasi-religious idea of species purity. They're fanatics, okay? It would make more sense for them to have dropped the bombs, but even then, they're fanatics about getting rid of people who have been impacted by the bombs. So, again, a weird thing for them to do. Their entire thing is all about getting rid of people who have mutated. Pure humans is all they're looking for. Pure, unadulterated humans. And so they'll commit mass atrocities, and they justify it in their minds because they're not really doing those things to pure humans, right? But everyone before the bombs dropped were pure humans, right? So not even the Enclave would want to drop the bombs, or the government for that matter, because the Enclave before the war was the pre-war government. So it's really hard. Like, I keep coming back to who would be the only one to benefit? China, because they were losing the war. America had everything to gain. America was winning the war. Their T-51B power armor suits completely changed the way the war was going. They drove China out of Anchorage. They were deploying soldiers in power armor domestically to tamp down the food riots and to keep the peace. Their society was beginning to thrive. They were winning. They had everything to gain. If you're the government of the nation that is the world's top power, you're the richest country on the earth, you just annexed Canada, you just defeated your arch enemy in a huge campaign, why would you then launch the bombs to destroy everything you just achieved? So for the pre-war American government to do it on purpose doesn't make any sense. But China had just lost Anchorage. Their great technology, the Haoguai suits or the Chinese stealth armor, was interesting and great, but it didn't match to the power armor, right? They got completely obliterated by the power armor. If we're supposed to believe General Constantine Chase, and if they really did have those hovering tank things that we saw in the Operation Anchorage DLC, it wasn't a match for power armor. It just wasn't as interesting, not as mobile, and that's why power armor won the day in Anchorage. So it was a conclusive defeat for China. They were going to lose the world. So if you're a global power and you're backed into a corner and you have two choices, admit defeat, humble yourself and try and reintegrate into a world society, or just kill everyone to keep your pride, as horrible as that is, it makes the most sense to me. I think China has the most reason to have dropped the bombs. I don't think America would have done it. I don't think Vault-Tec would have done it. I know they're evil, but they don't benefit from it. Like, if you're evil, you're still evil with a focus. You're evil with a focus to benefit yourself. There's criminally insane. Sure, maybe they were so bureaucratic and criminally insane that they would do something even though it didn't benefit themselves. Maybe. And of course, there's always the idea that it was an accident, that somebody pushed a button. So maybe someone in America just happened to push a button. So there are still a lot of explanations. But if we're looking for someone who has motive, really the only ones who have motive are China and the Zetans. The Zetans don't care, right? They just want to see what happens. They'll do anything to see what happens. You know, put a bucket on someone's head, swap bodies. They don't care. So they could have done it. They might have motive. They just want to see what happens. And China, they're really the only two that I can think of. Welcome, new member Cody Martin. Chris Breyer says Vault-Tec would be heroes to the literal new world, as in another planet. Was the plan from the Enclave the whole time, and Vault-Tec was along with it and convinced. No, well, there was no Enclave before the Great War. The Enclave happened after. The Enclave derives its name from the name of the ship that the pre-war American government fled to on the West Coast after the capital was bombed in the nuclear explosion. So there was no Enclave, right? The Enclave happened after the Great War. For there to be a new world, for there to be anyone to impress in a new world on another planet, people would have to be there. And there's no one on another new world. So before you could use the argument that they were trying to bomb this world and purify it to impress people on some other planet, there would first have to be people on some other planet. But there weren't. Vault-Tec, if they dropped the bombs, killed everybody. On Earth, just everyone's dead, with few survivors. So there's no one. There's literally no one to impress for them to bomb the world. Walker Smith says, I miss the darker lore in Fallout 3 and New Vegas. I love 4, but I feel it's lacking in Grim Tales department. It had them, but not near 3 or 4 New Vegas. But not near 3 or New Vegas. That goes back to what I was saying. The games like Fallout 2 would not be made today. Games like New Vegas would not be made today. Games like Fallout 3 would not be made today, right? In Fallout 3, you walk into a high school filled with the skeletons of children. That, I mean, unless it's like a horror game, but that wouldn't be made in like a AAA mainstream RPG today. So just the gaming industry is just evolving as a medium where it's becoming more mainstream, and I mean there are just more people playing it and playing games, and games are making this. I mean, Fallout is like a huge brand now. It's not just some niche or little RPG brand. It's a huge brand with merchandising and all sorts of stuff, right? So, I mean, I guess I can understand why the games are getting less dark. I agree with you that they are getting less dark. There are still some dark things. I mean, a child was trapped in a refrigerator for 200 years. And he didn't die because he was a ghoul. And he drank water that dripped through the cracks and didn't eat. He was starving, didn't see sunlight. Just think about that. That's really awful. I mean, sure, it was supposed to be a comedy moment, but if you think about that poor kid, that's horrible. That's pretty grim. It's pretty grim. Redneck Metal says, hey, Ox, keep up the good work. Love the content. Thank you, Redneck Metal. Cody Martin with another tip. Thank you very much, Cody Martin. Zar2 says, about 9 minutes, Ox. Thank you, Zar2. Keeping me on task. Oh, you said that a few minutes ago, so it's 5 minutes now. Ethan H. says, I remember when Bethesda wasn't all that mainstream. They grew really popular in the past decade. They really did. It was Skyrim. I mean, to be perfectly honest, I wasn't even aware of Bethesda as an entity until Skyrim. And this is coming from a guy who played Fallout 3. I played the snot out of Fallout 3 back in 2008. And that really put Bethesda on the map. It did at the time. But I mean, I played Fallout 3 without realizing who had produced the game at the time. I didn't really care. It's when Skyrim came out, and I'm just blathering on. I could be completely wrong, but from what I gather, so when Skyrim came out, I mean, people who had never played an RPG before in their lives played Skyrim. It became, I mean, the memes that came out of Skyrim, you know, arrow in the knee, the videos, I think it might have something to do with, you know, social media coinciding, memes and instant chat or whatever, these snap filters or whatever. Oh, I know, I'm talking like an old person. Sorry. But maybe there was something to do with that. But all I know is I remember when Skyrim came out, and I never even played Skyrim when it came out. But it's all I could hear. Like, I was not playing video games at the time. I was focusing on my marketing career, so my mind wasn't even in gaming. But all I could hear about, even when I went to work, was people talking about Skyrim. So it kind of just, like that, I think, really from my experience, is what pushed them into the mainstream. And then it was the success of Fallout 4. Fallout 4 blew up. I mean, there are people who they criticize Fallout 4, and there's some legitimate criticisms about Fallout 4, but it was a wildly successful game. It's the money they made from Fallout 4 that allowed them to explode into the company they are today, to hire as many different people that they've got employed, and to make all of these acquisitions so that they're publishing and producing, and it's just, they're a huge company now. For good or for ill. You know, I'm not saying that's good or bad. I mean, there are good things about becoming a huge company, and there are some real bad things about becoming a huge company. I've been in small companies. I've seen them transition into huge companies. I know what goes on, and it's not all good. So part of me is a little heartbroken about that, because when you become a huge company, it's inevitable. I mean, I'm not even criticizing any of the people in the company, but just the entity itself begins to its soul changes a little bit. I mean, I think all the people in the company are still good. I'm not saying there's any, badness there. It's just when something grows to be too large, individual people begin to lose accountability. In a larger company is basically what I'm saying. And a lot of sort of soulless mistakes happen that are complete mistakes. I mean, I don't think anyone in Bethesda is doing anything bad on purpose at all. I think they're just filled with wonderful people, and everyone I've met has been wonderful. But when your company becomes really large, thoughtless things happen, and then nobody takes responsibility for it. That's just been my experience working in companies that have started small and gone big. So maybe I'm projecting onto Bethesda. I don't really know anything that goes on in the company, so who am I to talk about it? But I don't know, there are pros and cons to becoming big. I mean, with a larger company and a richer company, you have more power to make greater games and larger games, and your scope becomes bigger, and you can churn things out faster, and that's all good, I don't know, but things change. But that's just time. Like, just as time goes on, people change and companies change, and that's just life. You can't expect a young development team to stay young and cutting edge and constantly churning out content all the time. I mean, even Interplay's gone, and Obsidian has changed, and the people we knew and loved who made Fallout New Vegas have moved on to other things. It's just life. It's just life. The Rant Show says Skyrim is a huge part of gaming culture at this point. You're right. I mean, they really... Skyrim became like... what is it that I'm trying to... Like, they had their fingers on the pulse of popular culture when they knocked that game into the ballpark. I just kind of conjoined a whole bunch of sayings, didn't I? But they... you're right, is what I'm trying to say. I agree. It's late. I've been streaming on this YouTube for a long time today. Rachel says, Ox, I missed the last few streams. What's the plan on the Sinking City? I've been enjoying those a lot. We're going to do the Sinking City tomorrow, 10 o'clock a.m. Pacific time, as usual. No change there. I'm enjoying the game. I want to keep playing it. So that's what we're going to do. We'll be picking up with Wolfenstein later, probably after I finish Dishonored. Jason says, can't remember, but do they ever cover why there are so many Chinese ghouls compared to others per capita? Also, please keep up the awesome work. So I know that in Fallout 3, every single Chinese person we meet is a ghoul, but that's just because, we go into the Mama Dolce's factory in Fallout 3, and we find Chinese ghouls who don't know that the war is over. Right? It's been 200 years, and they don't know that the war is over. So that makes sense why they're ghouls and they're Chinese. But I think that a lot of the Chinese survivors have just integrated into North American society, as we discover when we go to San Francisco in Fallout 2, the Shi there, for example. And, there are a lot of, Colonel, no, Shu. Is Shu a Chinese name? I could be completely wrong. Is Colonel Shu a Chinese name? I could be wrong, but I think he might be descendant from China, of someone from China. But there are a lot of people who could be descendants from Chinese in North America. Like, what's her name? The General Goods merchant in Diamond City. The one who's afraid of scents. And then there's the Longs, whom we meet in the Museum of Freedom. I don't know. I don't think it's true to say that all the Chinese we meet in the Fallout universe are ghouls. But Mama Dolce's in Fallout 3, yeah, they were ghouls. Okay, I need to get to the game. So, Preston Garvey says, hey, Oxford, any word on the Fallout Collection video? A Fallout Collection video? I don't know what you mean by a Fallout Collection video. Like a video summarizing every story from every Fallout game? I don't know. I don't have any plans for that right now. Myrna is her name. Thank you, channel name. That's right, it was Myrna. The Nakanos too, says Spartan. Dr. Lee, says Dirty Bird. That's true. I mean, yeah, there could be any number of possibilities. All right, let's get Bioshock up and running. Bioshock 2. There we go. Okay, there. Had to move it over from my live stream this morning. Oh, and it's here. My border is off. Hold on. Sorry, it's not going full screen. Okay, let's try this again. There we go. Okay, I got to be careful because every single time I'm on one of these loading screens, YouTube will demonetize me because of this old-timey music that they play. So let me just talk over this really loudly, as loud as I possibly can. But first I got to get the chat over because I forgot to do that. So let's put that on my other monitor. And let's widescreen that. There we go. Zartu says, gotta go enjoy the game. Thank you very much for staying with us, Zartu. Okay. So I believe we just hopped off the train. Into the new area. So everything we're about to explore is completely new. That's where we came from. Okay, Fontaine Futuristics. Line 47, Southeast Branch. Closed in. Railway security room. See if we can get anything in here. Shotgun shells. J.A. Bristol says, when are you going to do your video on the personality of Cole Phelps? You should have finished your previous obligation to do that, capping off your LA Noire series before you starting your 76 content. Okay. Well, Bristol, I'm excited to hear that you're excited about LA Noire. I was publishing 76 content at the same time that I was publishing LA Noire content, so it's not like one or the other. I was doing both. I do want to do that video, but I have a lot of other stuff on my plate right now. But it is high up on my priority list of content that I want to do. So it will come. It will come. Just, you know, patience. There's a lot to do. Brian Sanchez says, well, I just got a free Furious 3-star sledgehammer. I'm assuming for Fallout 76. Congratulations, Brian.
This facility belongs to the city now, to Ryan Industries, at least until the rioting subsides. While it is unfortunate that such measures had to be taken, I must admit, it is gratifying to see this building condemned. Fontaine is gone. Lamb is gone. Close enough. I am alone at last. Alone with my city.
Dr. Butcher.
Silver says, Ox, a new Wolfenstein game. It's Wolfenstein Cyber Pilot.
Welcome to Rapture.
Yeah, it's basically a VR game. It sounds really interesting. I'll look into it.
You can't take my blood! Never!
Oh, and I don't have any, do I?
Here's your treatment.
Whoops! Didn't get it fast enough. Okay, let me switch to my spear. Oh, I'm low on spear. Ash Malachi says, Oxhorn, my wife just found out that I replaced our bed with a trampoline. She hit the roof. Nice.
Where are...
There, I like this thing a lot better. Seized. Spear ammo. Lamb is watching. New tonic, damage research. Are you a master of research? Get the most out of your unlocked damage bonuses with damage research. No, I don't think I will right now. That's not like the cameras I've seen.
October 9th, 1967. Hello. My name is Gilbert Alexander, and by the time you hear this, I will be clinically insane. I am recording these diaries in advance as a last-ditch effort to assist anyone I might threaten in dealing with me. My next message awaits you beyond the security checkpoint. The bioscan will ensure that you're sane enough to need it.
Interesting.
Gil Alexander. As I recall, he was involved in Big Daddy development from the beginning. Likely had something to do with you and Eleanor, son.
Maddie says, me and my boyfriend recently found your videos and he's been pretty much binge watching them. Well, your boyfriend has excellent taste, I must say. But then, of course, so do you for having a boyfriend with such excellent taste. And for coming onto the program. All right, let's see. Will we find this guy insane? Okay, looks like we got a drain. I know we're gonna flood. Wow. So we find Adam just lying on the ground? That's pretty great. Seized. What exactly has been seized? Okay, we've got some glitches in trying to walk around underwater here. I feel like it's grinding me into the sand. Ooh. Any more Adam lying around? Okay, was that a robot I saw flying around up here? Find Jin. Another corpse. I'm getting serious old world.
Oh yes! Run, coward! Adieu, everyone. I hope you had fun. I'm writing down. Your kind.
Whoa!
Here. Oh, darling. So good. So good. Blasted.
I'll get you, you fucking zero! Where you my portfolio? Shit!
Be gone!
Man!
Alex the Great? Oh, hell, that has to be Gil Alexander, same man who left that message we're following. He sounds mad as a March hare now.
Anyway, as I was trying to say, that sounds a whole lot. I'm getting serious old world blues vibes from these guys. Okay, you know what? I've got a ton of rivet ammunition. Let's try and use my rivet gun a bit more.
Welcome to the circus of value! No refund, no return!
What is that weird humming? Okay, that's where I need to go. Let's go this way first. At least I'm getting my spears back. William Wise with a tip says reasons. Well, whatever reasons you have, I'm sure they're good ones. Thank you very much. Big hole up there. And that fell from there. Doesn't look like we can get up there, though.
Bioscan. Identifying clearance level. Identified. Clinical trial subject. Classification. Protector. Designation. Delta. Status. Deceased. Error. Updating status. Please stand by.
Am I dead?
What's this? My secretary vouchers for you? Delta, eh? You're one of our old protectors, yes? You're a fine product, Delta. Yes, fine product. Built to last. Say, don't look now, but I believe one of your old colleagues wants to welcome you back to the office.
Oh! Okay, not bad, not bad.
Designation. Delta. Status updated. Status. Active. Access granted.
Okay, those heavy rivets are pretty great. Did I just get a new weapon? Frag grenade. Spear ammo. Film, buck, anti-personnel, heavy turret. Okay, man, those heavy rivets are great. Let's see if I can get any more now that I've used some. Yep. So there was an alpha series.
Hello again. I have been exposed to a massive dose of substance Adam. By the time you hear this, I will have armed this facility's defenses en masse. You, my friend, must therefore penetrate them and kill me. Please believe that if I could have done it myself... and on that cheery note, you may use the diary lying near this screen to bypass the vocal print locks ahead and enter the security office. The password is Agnes Day. Agnes Day.
F5. Let's quick save. For crying out loud. Oh, for Pete's sake. Ah! Proximity mine, great. Did you hear that? I thought I heard something scream out there.
Please see password to enter.
Agnes Day.
Access granted. Welcome, Gil Alexander.
I heard that. My likeness is company property, Delta, just like you are. Don't make me strip you for parts, Milado!
He called me Lado. You don't call a Big Daddy Lado. Ethan says, did you turn off the game's music? You may have turned the score off while trying to turn off radio music. It's on, it's just set really low. I'll turn it up a little bit. To 4. Okay.
Please see password to enter.
I warned you. Wait about life's a pain. Weatherman says heavy rain. A little boost is all you need. Average Joe to Hercules. Stronger arm and sharper brain. That's why the future is Fontaine.
Access denied. Please speak clearly. Automatic deactivation for 60 seconds.
Oh, he's jamming the voice print lock with that awful crooning. See if you can find some way to sabotage his control of building security.
Delta, you're dawdling. The security office is well above your pay grade. If you're so keen to help, the restrooms need a good scrub. Here's a clerk or two to help you along.
Money, you goddamn parasite!
That's how they fly far beyond your means. Fine. You get.
Okay, I gotta break his control over the security. Ethan, I don't think any sound is supposed to play at this part because I have audio turned up. Here, let's put the music. Why did it go back to 1? Here, I'll put music at 10. See, nothing's happening. Yeah, music's at 10 now. Oh no. Fired.
Prison, it seems, was a blessing. Ryan is now dead by his own son's hand. But far more interesting is the program of compulsion bred into his child, coded WYK. It was some manner of verbal trigger phrase, which the boy would obey as an order, unerringly. In a way, this sad thing, this half-man, had escaped the self. Highly intelligent, but devoid of so-called free will, with all its convenient blind spots. What if he had been instructed to uphold the common good? What if he were a volunteer?
I can play cat and mouse. Ooh, rumbler. All right.
Come on, Daddy. It's close.
Where?
It's this way.
Oh, right here.
Adam, Daddy, right
All right,
here.
let me try and add some spears. Well, that one didn't take. All right, well, let's add it over here. All right. Here we go.
Adam, Daddy, here. I just remember Mommy. Who is that? Daddy's giving up. Nobody hurt my daddy! Come on, I say! Stop it! Don't let it get me, Daddy!
Ah!
Filthy.
He's nicer than other daddies.
Oh, I only put one man in the wall. Oh.
Here's the angel.
Well, let's try that again.
Mark the straight. Break the fuck out. Shoot. Gotta watch your back.
Stay at the back of my head.
Wait there.
You deranged!
Daddy's mad and you'll be sorry.
Oh, this is gonna get me killed.
Gonna rebuild this place. Gotta rebuild the population first.
All right, let's try.
We found Adam, Daddy. Only to light his feathers again. Angels are
I'm a doctor.
And that monster! Scoundrel!
I need more health packs to get through that. Did you use proximity mines? Yeah, I used them all already.
Daddy, you always save me from monsters.
I used them on the big daddies already. I need a shot. There's one. Demanding father. If your little helper keeps getting interrupted while gathering, tell him to get a move on with our demanding father tonic? Huh. Well, I don't know how useful that's going to be.
Don't let us get me, Daddy!
Don't you dare touch that signal relay, Delta. Its value is 10 times your own.
Alright, so that's what I need to do, but I want to get the atom first. Okay, you know, that might be a blessing in disguise. I now have 2 turrets. Let's quick save. Try using the whirlwind power, okay.
Welcome to the circus of value. Yes, congratulations. You've won a battle of wits with a home appliance.
Alright, let's get the atom first, then we'll come back and get that, that thing. Okay, now. Can I not?
Here's the angel.
right?
Oh, done, Daddy.
I'm stripping you.
Daddy, are you taking me home too?
Okay, I got it. Finally. Now there was another body over here. J.A. Bristol says, which of the Enclave officer uniforms do you like best? Those from Fallout 3 in New Vegas or the variant in Fallout 76? Also, why isn't your video feed working? I like the ones from Fallout 3 in New Vegas better. I don't know what you mean by my video feed not working. The videos are publicly available on my YouTube page. They work. So, I don't know. Don't know what you mean.
Welcome to the Circus of Value!
I still have both turrets. It's repaired. Okay. Let's try it again. This time I'll use my anti-personnel rounds, though the shotgun was pretty good.
Right here.
Quick save.
Shining sunshine and angels. Shh, it's creeping. It's just a little
Holy cow! Oh!
Bienvenido al amor nido.
Oh, don't worry, darling. They'll be back there.
I'm telling the other girls that I have the best dad.
Okay, at least I got all the atom. At least I got the atom.
Are we gonna be together again, Daddy?
Oh, wait. Jay Bristol says, what do you prefer? Why do you prefer that one more? Also, I was referencing the video conversation with the short-tempered Enclave officer in Fallout 2. I see. That video feed. Why isn't your video feed working? Oh, I see. You were making an inside reference to Fallout 2. Okay, I get it. I just like the way the hats look in New Vegas and 3 better. than the way the hats look in 76.
Ooh, marshmallow!
Well, that was a really expensive bit of Adam that I just got. Let's go heal up a bit, get some more first aid kits, then we can unlock this booth. Where was that shop? It was in the other room, wasn't it? Yeah, it was down here. That was it, wasn't it? That's the one I hacked.
Welcome to the circus of Scotch. No refund, no return.
Almost.
Preacher Jenkins says, "Hey Ox, it's Ralaran, the guy who sent you your first fan cigars and some egg maduros. Do you still accept cigars in the mail? Long time no see. Ralaran, I remember you, my friend. It's good to have you back on the program. No, I don't have a publicly available address anymore, but I do remember the cigars you sent me. That was very kind."
I'm very disappointed in you, Delta. Destruction of a Fontaine asset is punishable by summary dismissal. Shall I simplify that for you? Fired! Fired! Fired!
Well, let's... Golly! Can I hack this guy? There we go.
Lay your finger on me!
Man. Oh, this one's still closed. I missed my harpoons. My spears. Okay, let's go into that security booth first.
Please speak password to enter.
When you're down in the mouth and life's a pain, weatherman says heavy rain.
Please speak clearly. Automatic
So I still can't get in.
60 seconds.
Oh, annoying. That little song is great, though. Okay, did we go up? Let's go up in a minute. Actually, let's go up now. Hey! No, that's Gene Swap. J.A. Bristol says, do you plan on making a lore video dedicated to the Enclave as a faction? Also, I changed my profile pic to my Enclave officer cosplay, but I guess you can't see it with the pic being so small. No, I see a face, but I don't see the Enclave officer cosplay. I do plan to do videos on the Enclave eventually. I really want to finish Fallout 3 first.
This is Eleanor Lamb speaking. It's been many years since my last diary. Mother found a way to rehabilitate me psychologically, but she can't remove this thing inside my body. I look in the mirror, and I see a freak. I remember very little. Just an artificial sense of peace and a compulsive hunger for Adam. Dr. Alexander is trying to help me adjust. He's responsible for part of my condition, but he wants to make amends.
Luke Cage says, not gonna spend your Adam? I will. Okay, looks like that's where I need to go. All in good time. Let's finish exploring first. Okay, there goes the opposite.
What's on my side?
I designed that device, Delta. You fumble at it like an amorous baboon!
Well, I lost one of my turrets.
A simple share our needs.
This can't be right. Like the old days. Think you can
Ooh, we got a hole in the wall here. Oh. And proximity mines. Well, alright. So we're finding all sorts of places to explore. Let's go down first. One floor at a time. I need ammo. Okay, golly. Let's buy more health kits. Then let's hack this to get more ammunition. Pink Floyd says, love your vids, Ox. Keep them coming. Thank you very much. Will do. I'm going to load my quick save. Oh, I gotta talk over this or else I'm gonna get demonetized. I totally forgot about that. There we go. Hold on. Press in space. I don't want this music to get me demonetized. There we go. Now, let's try this again. There we go. Okay. I'm stocked up on remote hack darts. That rocket spear ammo is pretty cool. Spears. And I'm out of money. Alright, well, at least I got my spears.
Fucking told you that
Sweet, I'm getting proximity mines back. Okay, well that's locked, so I can't go that way anyway. I may have to go up. To the plasmid laboratory. Let's see if I can even go that way.
Thanks to new plasmid technologies being developed here at Fontaine Futuristics, anything is possible. The power of the gods is yours. All of our procedures are quick, painless, and safe.
You should probably upgrade your shock power.
I feel amazing. Never felt better. Wow.
The results are clear. Invest today in plasmid technology.
Lots of goodies over there. You should probably upgrade your electric plasmid since you use it a lot. Yeah, you're right. I should. Way out. Press and hold right to charge up chain lightning. Cool.
Stun enemies longer. Charge up to generate chain lightning.
Evolve today. Now every lightning attack causes chain lightning.
Every bolt hits more than one foe. Charge up to blast them with a deadly storm.
I like it. Let's buy slots. Alright, is there a swapper nearby? Okay, I came from there. I went there. Let's go this way. This way to the show. Blindside says, wasn't there a drone control on the security office wall on one side? Yeah, you may be right there. Yeah. But I can't do anything with it. Bot shutdown panels are used to cancel active security alarms and shut down any security bots that have been summoned by them. Using a bot shutdown panel is free. Alarms can also be canceled by successfully hacking the device that originally triggered it, whether it was security camera or failed to hack another machine. Okay, but that's not going to help with that one guy's face, right? I mean, I can try.
Please see password to enter.
A little boost is all you need. Average Joe to Hercules.
Access denied. Please speak clearly.
Round up. I'm tired, yeah. Won't see him around here again. Where is that move?
This way. The bank sent you, didn't they?
Alright, I repaired my turrets. Hello. Looks like I gotta go around.
This isn't so bad at all. Quaint. Earthy. Oh, I can't kid myself. This lifestyle is a disaster. Get
Okay, well, they took care of that. Swap jeans. Okay, so I don't have any more. So I bought a slot for something I don't have. I needed another tonic slot is what I needed. Oh no, a dead cat! You can't kill the cat in a video game. Whoa!
Adam Delta. One little jab in the arm, and even a hopeless underperformer can be Employee of the Month. Or you should know. Look around. Is any of this familiar?
Oh yeah. This is indeed familiar.
The Rapture consumer is indebted to you, my boy. We ironed kink after kink out of our domestic plasmid line on you right here. Well, let's see if you're staying competitive. Step on up and take the spotlight. Ladies and gentlemen, Fontaine Futuristics invites you to shed your skepticism, evolve your expectations, and dissolve your doubt as we unveil the revolutionary power of our home defense plasmid series. May I have a volunteer from the audience? come now. Don't be shy.
Hello, Ox says,
How
my
about
name is
you,
Connor.
sir? No, he's positively rigid.
Hello, Connor.
Yuma, at the back. Oh, come on down. Let's give it a hand, folks.
We shall save the life of
Only a single volunteer? Oh, come now, gentlemen. She'll be awfully nervous up here all alone. Come on down, all of you. Applause, please, for Subject Delta and the power of plasmids!
Oh dear. Okay. What's next? Love these vids, Ox says. My name is Connor. Thank you, Connor.
Dear Subject Delta. It looks like you've upstaged a fellow demonstrator, and he's here to steal the show. What will Delta do now, folks? Still a winner, Delta. The tour was never the same without you, and to think you were so spliced you couldn't stand when we stuffed you into that getup. The Fontaine family retirement plan suits you to a T, my boy.
So I won? Did I win? What did I win? Ralloran says, do you have a streaming schedule or is it more of a spur of the moment thing? I do have a streaming schedule. I stream Mondays at 10 o'clock a.m. Pacific time. I stream Thursdays at 7 o'clock p.m. Pacific time for Scotch and Smoke Rings. And I stream Fridays at 10 o'clock a.m. Pacific time for another game. Okay, looks like we're heading through here. Oh, that's twisted. They're all dead. And it looks like he posed them too. Two of four. Where did I miss the key code? I missed the key code somewhere. Now that the enemies are gone, let's look more closely. I'm not seeing any holotapes, recorded messages with codes, anything glimmering up in the sky I can grab. No. That's just a mask. Maybe I'll find it later and I have to come back. Because it's not here. All right. That's what's on the other side. It's a plasmid. Keep exploring, Ox. Keep exploring. It'll turn up. Okay, well, let's find a new path. Okay, did any of these paths downstairs unlock? First, let's try that. Then we'll go upstairs. Yes. Wait, no, there was this thing down here. It's still red. Okay. Not unlocked.
Looks upon the world, saying, all of this is mine, and by force or guile, he makes it so. To the tyrant, the whole of creation is held in the relative. Sun and moon revolve for him alone. For the tyrant, even justice is wincing. He alone is fit to weigh, to measure, and to calculate.
More dead cats. What is this? Oh!
This calls everything into question. Even as I record this, I can scarcely believe. Psychiatry has been my continual study to chart consciousness in all its strata. But intelligence does not require introspection. The son of Ryan was more effective than all his self-aware rivals. He lived without questions. I could end the self and save the world.
Drill Power 2. Prefer punch-ups to shoot-outs? With Drill Power 2, you'll be a master of melee. Sweet. There we go. Did I lose my little turret? I did. No, here, there he is. How you doing? Okay, well, I got that. So that was upstairs through the hole in the wall. But looks like there's another path upstairs. Okay, I went that way. I have not gone this way. Office of Frank Fontaine. Another Alpha series. Fire. Oh. 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 Three of four. There's your music, Ethan. Okay. Any keys or anything for that safe? You'd think they'd be in a big office like this. I'm not seeing anything. Well, let's just keep going.
Each new tyrant ventured here in search of conquest, Delta. Fontaine, Ryan, and now you. But every aspiring Caesar must learn to fear the knives of his fellows. Ask yourself, what does Sinclair stand to gain in guiding you here?
Good question, Lamb. I don't know if I trust Sinclair. Raloran says, is there an amount of money that would get you to do an episode fully in character as Mortus? No, there's no amount of money that would get me to do that. As funny an idea as that is, I'm happy with my character Mortus, the way he was. Ooh. Hello.
Get to work, you idiot!
Non-believer! Use the fire for loud!
Oh man, I love this electric bolt! Holy cow! They're still sparkling! Oh no! Oh. It's truly a horror, this game. Whoa! Marketing department indeed. I have to let you go. Fired. J.A. Bristol says, the thing that annoys me about Bethesda's explanation for the various retcons in 76 is they clearly didn't think them through beforehand. Only after being yelled at by the community do they bother coming up with explanations. And then RJ Algeria says, look at the animals and paintings in his office. Okay, I'll go back and do that. So, I like to look at it like this. They could not do anything. If we say, you know, only after... Oh, I need to go back to his office? Okay, I'm not going to do that. Right now. If we say, well, only after they get yelled at by the community do they care, do they mention it, do they try to change it, we're saying that they care enough about it to go back and change it. Right? They've made their money. Why are they going back to change it, to put that time and effort into it if they didn't care? I think gamers sometimes forget that the people who make games are people and sometimes make mistakes. I think sometimes they do a retcon thoughtlessly and they don't tackle it the way they should. Jet is one, although it might not be. I need to do some further research on that. But there are others that are just honest mistakes. And what do? Do we treat them like villains? Is that going to make them change and make them be more careful? Or do we treat them like people and treat them courteously and with respect and express our concerns in a respectful way? I think that is the best way to get the desired result.
Anyone in the plasmid business ultimately requires the use of human test subjects. It's our dirty little secret. And to be frank, Rapture doesn't really want to know, provided the end product is sound. Volunteers were scarce, even as the economy buckled. A man named Sinclair approached us with a seemingly limitless supply. He rented them to us, bound and sedated. No questions asked.
Okay, I hear another turret over there. We got that chair.
With that little infraction, just earned you another slap on the nose, boy!
Oh no! Are they gonna come in?
Stealing! No.
Is that it? Okay. Oh, how are we going to get over there? Got it. Woo!
Insubordination! Severance package cancelled. Benefits rescinded.
All right, enter the security office. Woo. I pulled the button. So what's inside that panel anyway? There we go. They were waiting for me. All right, well, let's try this again. What is this hack panel? I don't even know what this is. Oh, great. Nothing for that effort. Hey, well, at least we learned. Okay, maybe inside that security panel we'll find the code we're looking for. I've turned this room upside down, and I'm not seeing what we're looking for. J.A. Bristol says, what I'm trying to say is I'm disappointed with their lack of foresight, and also that they had the gall to make fun of the players who cared about the lore with that terminal entry about Kent Connolly. Oh, jeez. Okay, I also am disappointed when there's a retcon in the game. But the terminal about Kent Connolly, I laughed when I read that. I am a fan. I have a channel dedicated to lore. I'm all about lore. I care about the lore. But I didn't think that they were mocking me personally. Like, I didn't take that as like a huge slap in the face. I know the terminal you're talking about that was in the Mistress of Mystery Mansion, and I thought it was funny. I mean, Kent Connolly is an endearing character, right? He's a protagonist in the story. In Fallout 4, he is one of the good guys whom we get to save. Everyone loves Kent Connolly, and they used Kent Connolly to embody somebody who cares a lot about the lore, right? I don't think that they were trying to mock players who care about lore, because Kent Connolly is one of the good guys. So I think it all comes down to just how we choose to perceive things. We can either choose to be offended. Man, that offends me. I'm going to take personal offense, and I'm going to put that in my heart, and I'm going to let it fester as hatred because I'm offended. Or we can laugh because it's funny, or because it's an innocent joke, right? Instead of just turning it into another item that we can use in our witch hunt, right? It's a matter of perspective. Just choose not to be offended, especially when it comes to something like lore. Now, I also disagree with the entire notion that every single retcon was either purposeful, they purposefully went out of their way, or it was so obvious that it was clear neglect. Maybe it was. I don't know. I can't read their minds. I don't know their hearts. But neither does anyone else. So to choose to decide that these people are just so detached from their own fan base is a choice we're making. And that's on us. We can choose to just treat them like people who make mistakes, because I know I make mistakes, and I'd hate for somebody to hold a mistake that I made against me for the rest of my life. Or we can, just forgive their mistakes and bring it up to them and be honest about it and express our disappointment and move on. It's up to us. Katya Warden says, hey, love your videos, especially Fallout. Thank you, my friend. I do appreciate it. Hello. Ah. Hello. Unstable teleport plasmid. What is that? What is that? Okay. Before I touch that again, let's loot up. A DG 2K18 says, not to be rude, but it helps if you, I don't know, follow the arrow. Come on. Arrows are for chumps. Oh yeah, first try. Woo! Got it all. Oh, all the money. I'm taking all the money. Okay, touch. Where did it go? I should probably follow the arrow, huh? But doggone it, I'm gonna go this way. Where is that unstable plasmid? It's probably where the arrow is pointing. But you know what? I got a good feeling. I got a good feeling. No? Dang it. Alright. Alright, I'll follow. There it is. Ah. Go. We're gonna go. Okay, the office of Frank Fontaine. You want me to look at the animals? Okay, I'm looking at the animals. I see one animal, a bear. 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 Oh. Oh. Conspicuous boar mount.
Every time Ryan turns up the heat,
I know I'm a little bit closer to beating him at his own game. But now the game's changing. Ryan's boys are coming in heavy, looking to knock down my door and take what's mine. Like this is the first time I had to dodge a bullet. They're coming to my house expecting a show, but they're gonna get a disappearing act. Say goodbye to Fontaine, and hello to Atlas.
Someone you don't know says, Ox, the coach you're looking for is in a hole in the wall on the first floor. Thank you. Hole in the wall, first floor. Oh, safes. Oh, come on, man. Safes. Here we go. Oh, no. Come on! Oh, this is... It's so not going to be worth it. It's so not going to be worth it. Oh. Use auto hack darts on the safe if you have any. I got one. See, totally not worth it. Oh, another one. J.A. Bristol says, if Rapture looks this beautiful now, imagine how amazing it looked before everyone went crazy and wrecked the place. No, I mean, you got to hand it to Fontaine. It's an amazing feat of human engineering, but still. Oh, just I'm feeling. Oh, God. Done. That's it. I don't care anymore. I don't care about the safe. I don't want them. You can have them. I'm gonna go get that secret code, dagnabbit. Sen says, Ox, pick a plasmid to get better areas to click on when hacking. Yeah. I have them, but I have chosen not to use them out of pride. I don't need that. I can hack anything. Oh, looks like I haven't bought him yet. Ah!
What the hell?
Well, it could be anywhere, man. Where'd it go? Ah! Oh! Yes!
Ah! What are you?
Help me, please, 5254. He's running from it. Oh no, I'm gonna drown. No, I'm gonna drown. What the snot, man? What is this? Oh. Oh, they're taking pictures of it. Does that mean I need to take a picture? I can't change my weapon. Vending expert. Oh, I've already got them equipped. Wow. Wow, that's with me having them equipped. I'm just bad at them. Woo! Dang, man. 5254. Ah! Oh, it's water. Okay, it's just water. We're good. It's just water. Hole in the wall. Right.
The tyrant has no family, no friends, no country. Only slaves, chained in his wake. To his fellows, he asks, of what use are you to me? Those who love him are his subjects, for the tyrant accepts only worship or fear.
Five, 2, 5, 4, 5, 2, 5, 4, 5, 2, 5, 4, 5, 2, 5, 4. I will open you in a minute. I'm gonna go get loot.
The hounds! Heavens! Drop that at once! It's priceless!
Find sanctuary. Here.
5, 2, 5, 4. Ah. Wait, no, this wasn't it. No, it was on the ground floor. It was on the ground floor. I don't have it. This way. Yes.
I'm hungry, but I'll not beg. I'm above it. My air.
Got it for number one, huh?
5, 2, 5, 4. Oh, okay. I didn't need. Oh, okay. It's right there. 5, 2. 5. Yay!
Our hope was to bond a little sister to a single protector, so she had to be expendable in case of error. As we were fabricating a father bond, we couldn't really afford to have the girl's parents asking around. So, Fontaine's orphanages provided, and the procedure was an unprecedented success. If I had only known who the child was, Eleanor. I'm so sorry.
Ooh. Rallarant says, what are you smoking today, Ox? I have an Egg Maduro, first cigar this year. Well, you picked a fine one, my friend. I'm smoking a La Aurora y Leon Corojo. It's my typical show smoke. Careful Hacker 2. Yes! Careful Hacker 2. J.A. Bristol says, one retcon question mark I like is the Modus computer running the Enclave, but I'm annoyed with how tropey he talks, pausing every time he says something subjective like, they had a disagreement, when he means they killed each other. Yeah, I mean, you're completely right about the way Modus talks. It's like he's wanting to be evil, or he's cognizant of the fact that what he's doing is considered by humans to be evil. That said, it's not really a retcon that Modus took over the Enclave in West Virginia. Because nowhere else in Fallout lore does it say that the Enclave on the West Coast had control of the White Springs bunker in West Virginia, right? So we don't know what happened in West Virginia. It's totally possible that Modus took over after killing all the generals. I mean, I don't see that as being a retcon. His tropey dialogue, yeah, yeah. But, I don't know about the retcon. Oh man, I feel all day has been leading up to this moment. Here we go.
Agnes Day.
Access granted. Welcome, Gil Alexander.
Hello again. I must assume by now that you're willing to help end my life. In exchange, I have prepared a friendly security escort for you. Now, there's a switch in here which will allow you access to the real laboratories where what's left of me awaits you. Please, use it.
Okay. Shotgun. Launcher damage immunity. Now that's cool. Rivet gun heat upgrade. Launcher damage immunity. I like that. Guess we gotta press the button.
Ridiculous!
Oh shit!
You don't fit in! Stop running, rat! Blasted! I've wits on my side!
I love the spear gun. I love it.
Have a dose of the family! Ease yourself!
Okay.
My portfolio!
My dog!
I have to repair my turret again? Where is it? Albert, no! He's stuck on a body! Oh no, he's stuck. Goodbye, Albert. I can't take you with me.
I was to be Sophia Lamb's greatest achievement, a living composite of all Rapture's genius in the body of a single man, unfettered by self-interest. Now, I am nothing more to her than a failed experiment. My scores on tests of intelligence and moral reasoning are still noteworthy, but declining sharply. She has abandoned me, and I do not have long before psychosis takes me.
Oh man, 2 spears left. Cooped says, hey Oxhorn, good to see you. How is everything? Everything's fine. Having a great time. Really enjoying Bioshock. It's a big drop. No, Adam? Here we go. Oh, there's someone there. Music is great. Thank you, Ethan. Valorant says, do you have a favorite Fallout game? As far as writing goes, my favorite is Fallout 2, and my favorite 3D Fallout is New Vegas. They're both amazing games. I don't have a favorite because I like them all equally, but for very different reasons. The writing in Fallout New Vegas in particular is just phenomenal. The way they tied the DLCs together is just excellent storytelling. Hey, Adam. Okay, well, I'm glad I came up here. Back down we go. Is that screaming? Man, after playing the sinking city, I just expect a squid monster to descend on me any minute now. J.A. Bristol says, I'll say, though, through the one ominous pause I'm willing to overlook because it enhanced the dialogue is when he says the previous residents damaged his shining personality. As he gives that smile. I mean, it is dramatic. That's you gotta love Modus. If he was just a cold, dead AI, we wouldn't love him, right? But we love to hate him because he's just so devious.
As I recall from my time doing business with the owners, that oxyfill station out there's just a front for a kinda hidden passage leading down below. If Lamb's hiding Eleanor from you, that's where she'll be.
Oh, man. I'm so tempted to just pull an all-nighter because I want to keep playing. But I have a live stream tomorrow. What time is it? Oh, it's on 10 o'clock already? I got to get up and do a live stream of The Sinking City tomorrow, which I want to do because it's a great game. I'm having fun with it. But I also want to keep playing this. Oh, choices. Give me more spear ammunition or give me death. What are these? What are those? A hypnotic polyp? Don't think I do. No.
I'm afraid the lights in here sting my eyes terribly now. Until you arrive to deal with me, they will remain off. Please, locate the breakers and flip them, and then return here to restore power.
Josh Bunton says 20 more minutes, please. Am I almost done with this level? Look at all this light. Look at all this plant light. Holding cells in the dark. Radium says, will you be doing another 76 lore video soon? On? Yeah, I hope to. Not this week. Actually, maybe this week. I don't know, but I'm going to continue to focus on cryptids for a while. Spooky. It's spooky. Whew. Where am I? Oh, it's another polyp. A hypnotic polyp. Oh, yuck.
Dr. Alexander has agreed to accept both measures of the new Utopian project. He will become a kind of genetic chimera, host to all the minds of Rapture, accessing their talents and memories via the Adam we have gathered. And deriving in part from Project WYK, I have developed a new set of behavioral constraints. Dr. Alexander will live to promote the common good. His love and loyalty shall be spread evenly across the entire human race. For me, that is discipline at great personal cost. For him, at last, it will be instinct.
Ralaron says, good point about the new Vegas writing. Once I heard Caesar start talking about Hegelian dialectics, I was very pleasantly surprised. You should watch my video on Caesar if you like Caesar's diatribe. I commented on it at length in my series on the Legion. Short circuit. Easy hack. I could get that. Hurried hacker. Landing in a blue zone ends a hack instantly. Oh, yes! Vending expert, sports boost, Eep saver, proud parent. I'm not using Firestorm. Then I should get more health. J.A. Bristol says, when's your next Broken Steel video? Also, has my photo updated to show the Enclave cosplay yet? On my end, no, sadly, it hasn't. But my next Broken Steel video is this weekend. I was working on it today. That's what I did immediately after my live stream this morning. I'll have it for you Saturday. Saturday is my goal. Okay. Okay, cool. All right, I'll save the rest for later. Ethan says make sure you spend all your atoms. Saving it won't do you any good, especially since you're nearing the end. Am I nearing the end? All right, well, I just don't want to think about it right now, so I will save it for a little bit later. But note taken, point taken. Heat-seeking rocket looks like a mini nuke. Oh, that's where I was. Okay, so I need to go down here. I don't have anything in there. I need to buy more. I really do. I've got the slots for it. Okay, so these are completely done. Can I swap this for anything? No, I've got it all put in there. Okay. Pacification.
Sophia believes the perfect human altruist is just a formula, waiting on us to solve for X. Intelligence and consciousness are not the same, she argued. Awareness of self naturally becomes obsession with it. So, if we could suppress my sense of self, but imbue me with the cognitive capacity to serve the common welfare, we could thereby generate the first utopian. And then, Sophia said, at long last, utopia would follow.
But you'd lose your humanity, guy. Okay, activate the power mains. I think we gotta go upstairs for that.
Sophia and I knew that to create the first true utopian would come at a high cost, my friend. We needed someone to be host to all that Adam, Rapture's finest minds. A willing subject, that is to say, myself. Whatever you may have seen inside the tank, that was indeed me. I fear the fate of Eleanor Lamb will be less physical, but no less grotesque. This tank for deep-sea life is the ideal way to dispose of me. But first, you must retrieve enough adamant-fused plant life to lure me out. The slugs feed on the stuff, and it's all I seem to want now. I have left a sample here, so you know what to look for.
Oh, what? Adamant-fused plant.
I see you out there, Delta. You want to be top man? You want to sit in the big chair? Well, come and take it.
Oh, great.
Well, listen, son, those override keys you've been hunting are genetically encoded. And to get to Eleanor, you're gonna need one from Alex the Great in there. First things first, we gotta pin him down. Find those plants he mentioned, and lure him back out.
Yeah, sure. Find the plants, okay. We'll go this way. I don't think I have time for much more. Throw hypnotic polyps at enemies to enrage them. All right, oh no. Where's bot control? Okay, and on that note, I really am going to have to end the stream. I'm going to do a hard save here. I know according to chat, I'm getting close to the end. Maybe we'll finish it next week. But I really need to get some sleep if I'm going to be awake in any form in time for my live stream tomorrow morning. The Sinking City tomorrow. We're having a lot of fun with it. It's a quirky game, not a AAA game. So as long as we go in with that understanding, it's fun. It's a detective game. If you like my L.A. Noire series, if you liked my Obra Dinn series, you'll enjoy this. If you like Lovecraftian stuff, you know, the sea and squids and stuff, then you'll enjoy this as well. So we're going to pick up with that tomorrow morning for a nice 4 hours. Then it's going to be nose to the grindstone, I guess, to finish my Broken Steel video in time for Saturday. And then I'll try to also have another video for you Sunday, whether it's Fallout 2 or Fallout 76. I don't know. I'll try and figure something out for you. But thanks for joining me for all these live streams this week, especially the Wolfenstein Youngblood live stream earlier today. That was a whole lot of fun. Thank you for all the wonderful questions and tips today. I'll see you all tomorrow morning for some of the Sinking City. Have a wonderful evening. Be kind to absolutely everyone, and I'll see you soon. Bye-bye.